Happy Tuesday, everybody. I'm Ben Thompson. This is Wake Up Charlotte to Go, and it's not just any Tuesday, as we know. It happens to be primary day here in North Carolina, a chance for you to get your say about who represents us at City Hall and the General Assembly, and also up in Washington as well. We'll get to all your coverage, everything you need to do everything you need to know before you go vote. But before we get to any of that, let's go ahead and get a look at your forecast, because you know what, Larry Sprinkle, any political scientist I've ever spoken to said, the thing that has the biggest sort of impact on turnout is you, the weather.
There's no excuse today because it is dry weather. It's really comfortable temperatures, low humidity, and bright sunshine. Temperatures late this morning around 9 o'clock in the low 70s. If you're out for lunchtime, voting at lunchtime today, it should be sunny. Once again, low humidity, light winds right around 82 degrees. Middle of the afternoon, right around 3 o'clock in the mid 80s. And polls close around 7:30. So if you're voting late around 7 o'clock, it'll be clear skies and 79 degrees. So I would say of all the days to vote, this may be one of the better days to be out there because no weather issues whatsoever. In fact, the highest temperatures should be in the mid 80s this afternoon, Ben.
So what you're saying is folks have no excuse not to go vote.
The weather can't be an excuse today.
They got to use some other excuse, but not the weather. Yeah. Larry, we appreciate it. Of course, folks, there's a lot of races happening today, but there are three races that we really think you should probably keep your eye on. The first up is the U.S. Senate Republican primary. You've seen this one play out on the airwaves on your TV. Congressman Ted Budd up against former Charlotte Mayor Governor Pat McCrory, as well as former Congressman Mark Walker. Budd at first was trailing in the polls, but then jumped to a lead after an endorsement from the president and lots of support by outside political groups. We'll see if that's enough to secure the nomination. And then number two, here, what you see there on your screen, we sort of jumped ahead. Freshman Congressman Madison Cawthorn facing a tough primary in the 11th Congressional District. That's the western part of the state. He's facing a bunch of primary challenges, including a candidate that's been backed by Senator Thom Tillis. That matters because, of course, Thom Tillis is a Republican, and you've had a lot of well-known Republicans come out and criticize Madison Cawthorn after a number of missteps during this campaign, several run-ins with the law, including driving with an expired license, taking a gun through security at Charlotte Douglas, also a tape that was released a few weeks ago. And then number three, here in the Queen City, if you want to get hyper-local here in Charlotte, keep an eye on the at-large city council seats. Those are heating up as well because you've got a number of familiar faces that are either running for re-election or running for a second time after sitting it out for a few years. One of the big questions, though, if former Mayor Patrick Cannon is going to advance to the general election. Cannon left office after he was arrested on federal corruption charges back in 2014. So those are three races we're keeping our eye on, in addition to all the other ones as well. If you have any questions, folks, let us know. We are here to help. Maybe we can answer a few of your questions. But without further ado, let's go ahead and turn out to Richard DeVay. He joins us now live this morning outside the Mecklenburg County Board of Elections. And Richard, what do folks need to know?
Yeah, folks need to know, like you said, Ben, first of all, it's a beautiful day. Larry has provided some beautiful weather, of course, with an assist from Mother Nature. The polls have already opened. They'll be open till tonight at 7:30. Lots of time to come. One of the things that we have to point out is, unlike when you do the early voting where you can just go to one of the polling places, you have to go to your precinct to vote. So it's important to know. We have that information on our website where you can go and actually find out where your precinct is so you can go and vote there. We're expecting a good turnout. It's not a great turnout. That's always the case in election days, especially in primaries. You're not getting every single person out there voting, but we should have an uptick. We're online with the last time we had a primary. And as you said, some key races, of course, headed by the U.S. Senate race with Senator Tillis leaving at the end of his term. That's an open seat, and of course, it's going to be hotly contested. One of the big things, if I can put on my Dr. Bitzer hat, is a lot of times when you have primary elections, you have people who are very staunchly, because they're voting their primaries, Republican or Democrat, far to the right and far to the left, basically. And there's something about electability, and that's some of the things they're going to be looking at. Ted Budd has a sizable lead past that 30% threshold that he's probably needs in order to become the nominee for the party. What that will mean come this fall, we don't know. And the same thing with Cawthorn, as you said, he actually is having a lot of opponents from his own party. A lot of people concerned about his electability come this fall. And then you talked about here in Charlotte with the at-large elections, with it being a strongly Democrat field. A lot of times when the Democrats win for their seats, they know that they're going to win in November. So the key question will be today when you look at it, we'll see like a name like Patrick Cannon. Can he make his comeback, something that he talked about even when he was arrested years ago, that you knew that this was something that he would do, a second comeback, if you will, attempt. Now we'll see how that goes. Looking at just grassroots supports, a lot of organizations supporting him. We'll see how that works out. A lot of these offices and these particular positions are important because this is your day-to-day. These are the folks who are going to govern you in day-to-day issues, areas that are important to you, i.e. like schools, just how your trash is picked up, the people who you vote for in the primaries, and then this fall, especially these primaries and this fall, are people who are going to make a difference in your life. So it's very important for folks to get out there and vote. And as we said, we do have information on our website at WCNC.com where you can go and find out all the information you need to know. And the most important thing is to make your voices count.
That's right. Richard, quick thing, real quick. It's Senator Burr that's retiring. We just want to make sure that clarification, not Senator Tiller's. But beyond that, remind people, if you're unaffiliated, you can vote in either Republican or Democrat primary, but you've got to choose. But if you're Republican or a Democrat, then as far as that's what you're registered, that's the primary you have to vote in, right?
That is absolutely correct. You can only, if you're a Republican and you're declared Republican, you can only vote for the Republican candidates. If you're a Democrat, you can only vote for Democratic candidates. We have a semi-open election where an independent voter, unaffiliated. Now, you have to be declared as unaffiliated. You can't just say that you're unaffiliated. You have to be declared as unaffiliated, not voting Democrat or Republican, declared as Democrat or Republican. You're allowed to vote in either, but you have to choose one in order to vote in. So you can only vote for a Republican ticket or the Democrat ticket. You can't go back and forth as far as that's concerned.
And a reminder, as you said as well, that you have to go to your precinct today. Unlike in early voting, where there were 20 places around the county you could go vote, and you could vote in any of them, you actually have to go vote at your specific precinct. We have a link in the comment section, and you can actually click on that link. And not only will that tell you what precinct to go to, so you don't make that mistake, but it will also give you an idea of what your ballot looks like. Because, listen, folks, we have all been there. You get to the ballot box on Election Day, and you look at the races, and you think, who are these people? You only know a few of the races. We've all been there. So you can actually click on this link that we're providing. You can put in your address and information and look at your sample ballot. So you can go in, be a little bit better educated, be a little bit more informed about the races that you'll be voting on, which I think most people always think is a good thing. Richard Devane, they're live for us. Richard, thank you. Richard will have much more coming up on WCNC Charlotte, starting at 11:30 at midday. Folks, keep in mind, you've got the primary today. It stays open until 7:30, so you got plenty of time. Larry Sprinkle said you have no excuse, and if Larry Sprinkle says that, he means it. No excuse. And then after that, we're looking ahead for the city elections, July 26th. That will be the general election for city elections, and then November 8th for all those federal, congressional, and statewide offices. So it gets a little confusing. We'll be here to walk you through all of it, though, in the hours, days, and weeks to come.